Hi, I'm Patrick, and this is the Mach-E vlog / EV Explored. We're here at CES 2025. Behind us is the Elaphe and Italdesign booth. Italdesign designed this, and they have an Elaphe wheel. Sounds confusing. We're gonna dive in and take a look at both right now. I'm excited by this. This is pretty cool, but let me first start. We got to introduce you. Gorazd. Say it correctly?
Correct.
Okay. Introduce yourself and who you're with, and then we'll talk about this cool thing.
So I'm Gorazd. I'm CTO at Elaphe Propulsion Technologies, and we're showing some new cool technology here.
Yeah, so traditionally, like in our EVs that we have a motor, and then it basically outputs power to the wheels. This, you guys are basically putting the motor in the wheel, right? So you want to talk about that and why that's like a new step forward?
Sure. So the first thing you get with this is more space.
Right.
So you release the space in the car. That's obvious. But what you get, what is not obvious, is much more control. So you get independent control of the wheels, and you get 20 times faster control of the wheels, which allow you to do some really interesting things on the car.
So you're basically doing like torque vectoring, but it's like not vectoring because it's in the wheel itself.
So it's torque vectoring, but it's like torque vectoring plus, because you're doing it at higher frequency.
Okay.
So you can do traction control. So think about it like this. Electric vehicles have a lot of torque, you know, as much as you want.
Yeah.
But the limit is how much torque you can transfer to the ground. And that's connected to the control speed. And having a faster control speed means you can transfer more torque to the ground. And basically, that's the advantage of this, transferring more torque to the ground, having 4 independent wheels, transferring that torque when it's available, where it's available, and where the ground allows it.
So it can basically very easily sense when it's losing traction and then apply torque to the other wheel and less torque to that wheel.
Exactly. Each wheel is always at the optimal operational point.
So that's advantageous just like on regular pavement when you're trying to accelerate, but like sand, snow, like all of those tremendous advantages, I would imagine.
Yeah, and especially if you're going from one surface to the other, the normal car does not recognize immediately that the change has happened. So for a while, you can get into an unstable position, spin the car. With this, you just drive like nothing happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's sort of like, just as like walking, when you start losing traction and stuff, if you can adapt quickly, you're stable, and it's the same thing with the car.
I would say it like this. So, would you buy a car that had one single brake in the middle and did not know what's happening in each wheel? You wouldn't, right? And we all got used to having 4 brakes, each brake operating individually with controls like ABS. This is like an upgrade of that. Just both directional, so braking and traction, higher speeds, independent control.
Now, do you want to talk about this one specifically in the power that you can get from this? Because I was looking at the power specs. It looks pretty impressive.
So this is pretty special. So what we're doing this year at CES is we are announcing a new product line. This is a high-performance product line, first intended for hybrids, and then intended also for battery electric vehicles next. So the scalability we'll talk about later, but the first product is the Sonic 1. Front wheel in-wheel motor, and what's special about it is it houses a really big performance brake. So it's the first in-wheel motor in the world that houses a carbon ceramic 400 millimeter performance brake, so it allows it to be seamlessly integrated with existing vehicle platforms. And this one, the first one, it's a 21-inch motor, 255 kilowatts, 200 kilowatts continuously, available whenever.
Wow.
So that makes the car that makes the upgrade really impressive.
And of course, with the EVs, we have regenerative braking. It seems like there would be some advantages of having the regen motor, the regen braking basically in the actual wheel itself versus trying to push it to the motor.
Yeah, again, it's control. Independent, each wheel 20 times faster. It's again 10 times faster than the brake control. So ABS really gets upgraded with this tremendously. So what you can do with braking is then sense the surface and brake always in the optimal position, same like in traction.
That seems like that would be a huge advantage because I know a lot of people that have one pedal driving and they'll turn it off in the snow and ice because it's a very disconcerting feeling when it's braking and like one wheel locks up.
Yeah.
But this can adapt.
Yes, correct.
That's really cool.
Correct.
Anything else we should know? I'm a novice when it comes to the technical details, but I love learning about all of this.
Yeah. So think about the possibilities if you have something which is an order of magnitude faster. So what we can do with this motor, and it's just an example of the capabilities, is we can generate vibration and we can generate sound. What that means is we can do interesting things like warn pedestrians, without speakers. We can play music if you want. We can vibrate inside of the car with a special frequency to warn the driver, but we can also generate sound and vibration in the car authentically. So it's not anymore the speaker of the EV that's giving us feedback, it's the actual engine tuning that's allowing you to feel that there's a lot of power under your foot, right?
Yeah.
Which is missing today in electric cars. So it can generate vibration coupled with sound. You feel it, you press on the pedal, you feel the feedback immediately, and it's not just, okay, something's happening. I don't know if somebody's pressed the pedal.
That's one of the complaints about EVs is like you lose sort of like that contact with the road and the environment.
And that emotion that's coming out of
right.
sound. Yeah.
That's an interesting. Like I would have never connected the dots that's something that would be an advantage, but I can understand.
Yeah, we're connected directly to the car. All of the other powertrain is connected through thick rubber bushings.
Yeah.
And the reason is the level of control that's possible with a normal electric powertrain is not high enough to control it away, to control the sound and the vibration away.
Right.
So what we can do is we can have a completely silent mode, but then we can have also the exciting mode which vibrates and releases sound.
Right. Now earlier on you mentioned scalability. Do you want to talk about scalability?
Yeah, so I think that's best discussed next to the vision car that's presented here.
Oh, perfect.
So we can move into that section.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad we moved over here because this is a very cool car to be talking in front of. This is their concept that they are highlighting the motor design, but there's more to that as well. But we can focus on the motors here. What do you want to tell us about this? We were talking about scalability, but also like I want to talk about the design and how this fits in.
Yeah, so this is the Italdesign Quintessenza.
Yeah.
It's like the quintessential Italian vision, right, for the future. It's a combination of an Italian GT and a pickup truck, American pickup truck. So I think it's a really nice place to show this in Vegas, right?
We'll get some overall views of it because it's a really unique, interesting design.
So this is a vision car, and what we use this car for is to develop the vision of our performance products. So what we did here is the scalability of the technology, how much power we can get out of this, how much torque, what kind of performance. And we are, in these four wheels, we have 1.6 megawatts.
Holy cow.
That's 2,100 horsepower of power. And it gets 5,000 Newton meters in the front, 12,000 in the back. Wow. That's good for 2 seconds, 0 to 60 for this kind of a car. Its scalability, it shows there's no limit to performance. And it brings all of the control advantages we discussed to this kind of a car and many other performance cars.
And I imagine as you were saying, the precise control helps with that 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Transferring. So all that torque, you cannot transfer to the road unless you have really good traction control.
Yeah.
So even in good traction conditions, getting to that optimal traction, staying there throughout the whole acceleration, that's the secret.
And then going back to the design of it being built into the wheel, it gives you some flexibility inside, but it also is like, it doesn't like distract from like the design of the wheels. Like, I mean, these are some fantastic looking wheels.
No, I think it really looks beautiful.
Yeah.
The first thing is you can see what's going on in there.
Yeah.
It's not just the wheel, it's not just the motor, it's not just the brake. You can see all of it. So it's kind of discreet. So the motor is in there, you can see it, but it's not blocking what's going on there.
Yeah.
Because the brakes are one of the impressive things about these cars. You want to see your carbon ceramic brakes, and you want them cooled as well. So technically, you want them ventilated. So I think it's a really impressive visual detail, but also technically, I think it's really powerful.
Yeah, and it's like just glancing at it, like looking from here, like I can't really see that there's a motor in that wheel.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the point. You know, the red caliper shows the performance of the braking.
Yeah.
You know, the ring around with the color and with the emphasis, it shows the performance for traction. And together it comes in as one component, right? Yeah. So it looks really good.
Now, on this specific design, that's a relatively large wheel. It's like 23 inches.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's like just different specs, and you can shrink it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're starting the performance line with 21-inch motor. So this one is bigger. It's a scalability study.
Right.
So we're starting at 21 inches. That's kind of more common. But as you go to this kind of SUVs, 22, 23 inches is what the products are going to be like.
Okay, very cool. It seems like this is the way that the industry is going. Do you foresee, like, will wheel motors just be a niche, or do you think it's going to overtake the industry eventually?
I think it's going to overtake the industry. So for us, it starts with high performance short term. So already this year, we'll start delivering to customers. We are expecting some announcements for high performance vehicles next year. And we see 28, 29, already some higher series, already luxury cars, not just high performance,
right.
But we see high volume manufacturing of vehicles 2030 and onwards. And we see OEMs, we work with them. We have advanced development projects which are leading to that direction.
So one day we'll have this in our garage.
I hope so. Yeah. I think this is something that's a fun future. It's not only focused on cost. It brings us in the end to a more cost efficient car. That's also good, but I think it's also a much more fun car. I think that's what's missing today, right?
Yeah. That's been one of the big criticisms, as I was saying. You lose a little bit of the soul of the car in an EV, which there's other things you can do, but this sounds like it's going to be taking it to the next level. Eventually, more efficient vehicles. More options for interior space. Your front can be bigger because you don't have a big motor sitting right underneath the front. So it seems like it's a lot of boxes that's checked as far as design, efficiency, power, like a lot of things.
Yeah. I think as a technology, it's really powerful. I think our mission is to make it happen. It's kind of obvious, but the engineering behind it is not that obvious. So you have to make it work. But I think you have to start with a vision. You have to start at what it can be, and then engineer your way towards that, right? Not just incrementally, but really taking the leap.
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of how technology works, and like all throughout time is like you have to take this leap, and eventually everything will, follow behind. It's the long tail that'll get us there. But it's really great to see that you guys are here at CES. Welcome to CES. I don't know if you guys have displayed here before, or is this your first time?
We've been here a couple of times with smaller displays, but this is really the first time we're doing a product announcement.
Okay.
I would welcome anybody to come here, spend some time here, look at the products, just get a feel of what the future looks like.
That sounds great. And we'll put links in the description so that you can learn more about this, to their press kit, all of that information. I think it's really exciting technology. Great to see what's coming down the pipeline versus what's in my garage right now. So thank you for sharing that with us today. Have a great rest of your CES.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
We're here with Italdesign with David. Let's just dive right in. First of all, I don't know much about the company. Do you want to tell us about the company, and then the coming to the US part?
Thanks, Patrick. So in short, Italdesign, not new to automotive, not new to design engineering overall. Over 56 years of experience in Italy, headquartered in Northern Italy. But again, with the US still being a very strong and important market for automotive and creativity and engineering in general, we felt imperative to be closer to our customers in the US.
Right.
So part of that is having our presence and being in the Motor City in Detroit, in the Detroit area, to be able to support our customers in the region as well as all over the United States.
So you're here at CES, you have a concept car to show like flexing your muscle, like this is everything that we could do just to sort of show off, but it's sort of like you don't have to do a whole car. You guys are known for doing some design, some specific engineering, basically whatever your client needs, right?
Exactly. We're an engineering service provider. So if a customer comes to us and says that they need help with maybe they have a crash test, they need support in figuring out how to resolve it and do it in an effective manner, we can do that. Maybe someone comes with a clean sheet of paper and a sketch on it and says, how do I bring my idea to reality? We can help with that. In a vehicle like this, even though it's a concept car, in that one vehicle, it showcases all of our capability. It shows the design, the creativity, the engineering, and the execution.
Yeah.
We're not a manufacturing company, so the intention is not to manufacture that vehicle.
Yeah.
But for our customers, we can take it from A to Z. So from that sketch, we can take it all the way through the digital development, through the tooling release and kick off the tools, the pre-production builds, the validation of that, the homologation, everything for the customer, depending on what their needs are. And to be honest, as you can see, the traffic here at CES, that speaks volumes much more than a PowerPoint presentation does, right? So,
Yeah, this isn't like as thrilling as sexy as some of the little components, but I imagine there's a huge demand for that. And I think it would, I'm guessing it varies because we have a lot of big giant manufacturers and companies that may want to outsource parts, but there's a lot of startups now. And I forget what the stat was, we just heard at one of the breakfasts about how many new manufacturing companies there are for cars just in the past 4 years.
it's really impressive. It almost seems kind of hard to keep up with, to tell you the truth. But as we're seeing the evolution of EVs, and there's a little bit of a retraction in the market, but it's still the future, right? So you have so many companies coming into the market that aren't traditional OEMs. They're not constrained by what typical OEMs are constraints have. So they have a little more creativity, but maybe they need the muscle, they need support of a company with 56 years of experience at their right hand.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a great win-win for you guys, of course, but as well as them. They can get something started very quickly.
That would be the goal, right? I mean, we're happy to take on, a smaller project, but we love to have those turnkey projects where the customer comes to us and says, you know what? Again, I have this idea. What can you help me bring this to fruition? That's our goal.
And I know that some of your clients want to be known, but many of them, they want you guys to just be quiet and work in the background.
To us, with trying to have a diversified customer base, having that confidentiality for our customers is paramount, right? I mean,
right.
You don't want to find out, your trade secrets being shared within a company. So we intentionally keep that separate, from, and keep our customers confidential.
There was one that was mentioned that I thought was really cool. The Delorean, the modifications for Back to the Future was you guys, right?
Well, the Delorean design itself.
The design.
Yeah.
Oh, the Delorean design itself.
Right.
Oh, see, I misunderstood. I'm glad we clarified that.
Yeah. So this predates me, my time with the company a little bit, but of course, it's something that the founder, Mr. Giugiaro, a very famous designer. But to that point, that's one thing that why we're here at CES is that the Italdesign name, although the long legacy in Italy and Europe, is not well known within the U.S.
Yeah, I've never really, I've heard it, but I never knew what it was.
Right.
And I thought it was Italy. But you guys are actually global, and now you're coming to the U.S. So it's I know you're, of course, big in Italy, but where else are you big? And now, where are you going to be big in the U.S.? You're coming to Michigan, right?
So we're in Michigan now. As of middle of last year, we have an office there in Metro Detroit. So again, being kind of close to the customer base, even though with a lot of startups in the EVs, what we've seen is that a lot of startups in California, Texas, other states throughout the country, everyone comes back to Michigan because of the talent pool there. We have an immense amount of talent in terms of engineering, creativity, that they're hungry to do new development like this. So that's where we're trying to draw from.
And we won't walk over to the car because it's swamp, but I have some B-roll. But just overall, that's just showing some of the cool new technology you guys are able to introduce into the market.
I'll say the implementation readiness is kind of varies, of course, because of full testing requirements and whatnot may not have been completed yet. But it's just trying to show the creativity behind it. That our intention is, if someone wants a standard polypropylene door panel, for example, on their cars, we can do that. That's not a problem. We have a lot of expertise there. But if you want something to the next level, to have creative solutions, either technical side or creative solutions and something more attractive, more beautiful, we can do that too. I mean, we have, what I've seen since joining the company, there's a lot of cross-pollination and a lot of understanding of design from an engineer point of view, right, and engineering understanding from a design point of view.
It's a cool looking vehicle. I love the fact it reminds me. Reminds me of the Subaru Brat, if you remember that. But it's like a luxury version of that, and way more powerful than a Brat.
So you have that aspect, and I think the one thing that really helps this vehicle out, especially, and I think it's a good concept for the U.S. market, is we see a trend of trying to, I'll say, embody the outside in to the vehicle, right? A lot of newcomers are coming into the space. They're becoming very involved with outdoors. So this kind of bridges that gap. You know, we have the removable back glass and back window.
Yeah.
It kind of opens it up like a pickup, but it's kind of a twist, right?
Yeah. And I think that's something that the whole industry is sort of discovering too, like as we transition into EVs with the different powertrain and not having a drive shaft and those type of things, it gives a lot more flexibility. And this one has those wheel motors, which also is expanding the flexibility even more. Is that something that you're seeing, like a new way of thinking about transportation with the new powertrains?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's that autonomous drive technology. I mean, it's changing the way you think about vehicles. You know, the idea of just sitting in the driver's seat, you know, hands 10 and 2, like we were taught as kids, is changing. The expectations are changing.
Yeah, it really opens up what you're doing in the vehicle when you can look around. You just don't necessarily have to have your hands on the steering wheel. And then just the overall environment is like completely different. It's really exciting.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for the future, excited that you guys are here in the US. And I probably won't ever know what you guys are necessarily doing, but I'm assuming that we're going to see some stuff, some products here in the US that's going to have that secret design element to it.
That's our goal.
Awesome. Well, thank you for spending time with us today. Hope you guys are having a great CES and great 2025 start.
Great. Thank you,
All
Patrick.
Right. Thank you. I'm really excited by the wheel motor. I thought that was really cool to learn about that. This design here is just fantastic, which sort of, like I was saying, is like Italdesign flexing their muscles and showing what they can actually do. Really great to learn about them. We were talking about like what they're going to be bringing to the US. I'm excited to see some of their design expertise and engineering expertise in products that we will see. Of course, we probably will never know. And of course, we'll see where this wheel motor stuff goes. There's a prediction that it's going to go to the premium and then the performance, then premium, luxury, and then eventually make it into a lot of vehicles in the industry. We'll have to see if that all is true. But anyways, thank you for watching. We're gonna have a bunch of other CES videos. Thank you to our Patreon members for supporting us, helping us come out here to CES. Thank you to our YouTube members. You guys are also helping us out greatly. You'll know the people that have lightning bolts by their names when they comment. They're YouTube members. You can join right now. You can join Patreon as well. But thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. And just remember, whatever you drive, even if it's not a concept that's this cool, enjoy the ride.